We all have heard of people robbing banks just to get a few $100s. I read about this one guy who used to steal checkbooks from people's mailboxes and then fake their signatures to withdraw funds. I guess he used to plan it all very well just for a few $100s. Then there are people who rob banks with bigger goals, like they want to steal thousands of dollars. To do this, they buy bank login credentials from underground markets and steal money from those accounts. This sounds easy, but making a deal with the right cybercriminal in the underground markets is not an easy task. But for some people, that still isn't enough. They have even bigger bank robbery ambitions. They want to score a few $1 million, and that kind of job is not easy. You have to plan it just right. It's not like knocking over an armored bank truck. It usually takes a lot more resources and skill to pull off this kind of $1 million robbery, where they rob the bank indirectly by scamming its customers. This is a story about a group of cybercriminals who are breaking into bank accounts with a new, never-seen-before trick and without getting caught. In recent years, speaking to voice interfaces has become a normal part of our lives. We interact with voice-enabled assistants in our cars, smartphones, smart devices, and during telephonic banking. More banks around the globe are using voice biometrics. Voice biometrics is a technology used to match personal voice patterns and verify the speaker's identity in seconds using just voice. To identify a person, voice biometrics technology captures a person's voice and compares the captured voice characteristics to the characteristics of a previously created voice pattern. If the two match, then the voice biometric software will confirm that the person speaking is the same as the person registered against the voice pattern. Once the customer has created their voice authentication pattern, when they dial the bank, they just type their account, customer or card number, and repeat the phrase, "My voice is my password," or "My voice is my signature." Then he can access his telephone banking account where he can make transactions more securely. According to the different bank websites, voice biometrics is very secure, and like the fingerprint, the voice is unique. But cyber criminals are using voice biometric spoofing attacks, also known as voice cloning or deepfake, to break into people's bank accounts. Using these attacks, they use presentation attacks, including recorded voice, computer-altered voice, and synthetic voice, or voice cloning, to fool voice biometric systems into thinking it hears the real authorized user and grants access to sensitive information and accounts. In simple words, they clone the voice of bank customers by artificially simulating a person's voice. Further in the video, you can see how voice is cloned and how voice spoofing attacks are done. Today's AI systems are capable of generating synthetic speech that closely resembles a targeted human voice. In some cases, the difference between the real and fake voice is imperceptible. Let's see if you can make out the difference between Trump's real and cloned voice.
Make America great again.
Make America great again.
Were you able to find out the difference between the two? Let us know in the comments section which voice is real. These scammers are not just targeting public figures, including celebrities, politicians, and business leaders, but the reality is that they target anyone who has a bank account. They use online videos, speeches, conference calls, phone conversations, and social media posts to gather the data needed to train a system to clone a voice. And banks are not their only target. They are using it for a new breed of phishing scams that exploit the fact that a victim believes they are talking to someone they trust. Last year, a UK-based CEO was tricked into transferring more than $240,000 based on a phone call that he believed was from his boss. These scammers, armed with voice clones, are using phone calls and voicemail. And the attacks aren't just threatening businesses. In a new breed of the grandma scam, criminals are posing as family members who need emergency funds. Let's see how these scammers work through the eyes of cybersecurity experts.
Scammers have become smarter, and regular people like you and me can fall for their scams. Today I'll share with you a new type of scam that it's attempting to exploit the voice authentication feature in telephone banking services. Some of our subscribers have informed us of calls they are receiving from their banks where without confidential questions asked in the identification process, they are allowed to make transactions, just with the account number or the card number. So how can transactions be made over the phone with only basic information provided. Let's listen to this scam call that one of our subscribers shared with us.
Welcome to. We remind you that your personal data is used according to our privacy policy, which you can consult on www.com or in any of our branches. We have detected fraudulent charges of $1,000 by Amazon on your account. This is an automated call to cancel charges in case you do not recognize them. We remind you that this call is being recorded for quality and security purposes. Important warning. We confirm that will never request for user information or passwords or updation of Know Your Customer data through the internet, telephone, email or SMS. For more information, go to the security section in www.com. Please enter the 16 digits of your card or the 11 digits of your account number or your customer identification number. Your card number is invalid. Please enter the 16 digits of your card or the 11 digits of your account number or your customer identification number. To confirm your identity after the tone, say the phrase, "My voice is my password." Press any key when you finish.
My voice is my password.
Your identity has been confirmed. To cancel unrecognized charges, dial 1. To approve charges, dial 2. To speak to an executive, dial 9. Dear customer, we inform you that at this moment the waiting time is higher than usual. Thanks for your understanding. To cancel unrecognized charges, dial 1. To approve charges, dial 2. To speak to an executive, dial 9. We are validating your information. Please wait on the line. Thank you for waiting. Your cancellation has been approved. A service request number of the cancellation request will be sent to you by SMS message. Your cancellation request has been completed. Have a nice day.
Did you hear that? This is an automated call that in order to gain trust from the clients, they call from the official numbers of the banks, and they sound just like them. To verify his identity, he was asked for his account number, his card number, and his voice authentication phrase.
But how are they using voice cloning to break into bank accounts? Further on in the video, you can see an expert breaking into one. Cybercriminals have started using deep fake voices to spread misinformation and fake news. Imagine if somebody publishes a fake voice call of some public figure to sway public opinion. Or consider how manipulated executive or public figure statements could affect the stock market. Deep fakes are also being used to create fake evidence that impacts criminal cases, or for blackmailing people in cases where manipulated video and audio of people doing or saying things they didn't do or say. Voice cloning technology is not an evil technology. It has many positive and exciting use cases, like education. Cloning the voices of historical figures offers new opportunities for interactive teaching and dynamic storytelling in museums. Audiobooks. Celebrity voices can be used to narrate books, and historical figures can tell their stories in their own voices. Assistive technology. Voice cloning can be used to assist persons with disabilities or health issues that impact their speech. How deepfake voice cloning is done. Everyone who has interacted with Apple's Siri, Amazon's Alexa, or car navigation systems has experienced synthetic speech. Today, artificial intelligence and deep learning are advancing the quality of synthetic speech. With as little as a few minutes of recorded sample voice, developers can use it to train an AI voice model that can read any text in the target's voice. There are a variety of AI tools, which enable virtually any voice to be cloned. Some of these are Resemble.ai, allows custom AI-generated voices from a speech source. It creates realistic text-to-speech voices with AI with just 5 minutes of sample voice. You can try it for free.
Resemble supercharges your synthetic voice with a text-to-speech generator.
iSpeech. It is a high-quality text-to-speech and speech recognition tool. You can generate anybody's voice in 27 languages.
Fact: employees who are auditory learners train faster and more effectively.
Descript Lyrebird AI allows creating a digital voice that sounds like you just from a small audio sample. It is a free plan that allows generating 3 hours of speech. Vera Voice. It uses machine learning technology to create super realistic voice clones of any person. They claim that they need just an hour of audio data to train neural networks to generate a new voice. Google's Talkatron and WaveNet. These systems from Google can generate speech which mimics any human voice and which sounds more natural. It needs text and sample voice data to generate a human-like voice. SV2 TTS. There are some good free tools like these which allow voice cloning with pre-trained models. While these can be used to generate speech using arbitrary text from one of a few hundred voices, it can also be fine-tuned to generate speech in an arbitrary voice using arbitrary text. It's important to note that these tools were not created for the purpose of fraud or deception, but the reality is that business and consumers need to be aware of new threats associated with online AI voice cloning software. How to detect voice cloning. Voice anti-spoofing, also called voice liveness detection, is a technology capable of distinguishing between live voice and a voice that is recorded, manipulated, or synthetic. Many deep fakes can be detected by AI-based software trained to identify artifacts that aren't present in a live voice. But it seems banks don't have this technology, as voice authentication used by many banks can be bypassed easily. See what our expert has to say.
According to different banks' websites, our voice, just like our fingerprint, is unique. This means that it has particular patterns and characteristics that cannot be copied. When you use a Voice ID feature, a digital print of your voice is created. With it, the bank software can analyze over 100 characteristics and identify your voice. This way, the system can know whenever you have a cold, a sore throat, or a recording is playing. But voice authentication systems are not as secure as banks and their websites say they are. This is why one of our cybersecurity experts looked into them and made the following investigation.
Hi, the voice authentication system used by the banks is not very secure, as the banks claim. The banks use different phrases to authenticate user during phone banking, like "my voice is my password," "my voice is my signature," or the bank's name in the phrase "in bank, my voice is my password." There are 3 different scenarios which someone can use to exploit the system. In first scenario, someone can call you to sell something and then force you to use words like yes, no, my, voice, password, signature, or the bank's name, and then create the phrase using these words. In second scenario, someone can call you and ask you to repeat the complete phrase, "my voice is my password," like in a scam, banking scam. In third scenario, someone can call you and record a sample of your voice. Then, by using Deepfake artificial intelligence tools, they can recreate your voice or generate the phrase or the missing words. These tools are not very perfect, but still they can be used to generate the phrase or the missing words with some effort. Using these 3 scenarios, I was able to record a call, and then by using an audio editing software, I was able to create the complete phrase. I have the recorded phrase here, and I am going to play during a phone banking call. Let's see how the security of the banking system responds. The first bank, this bank is the 6th largest bank in the world. It's in North America, South America, Asia, Africa, and Europe. Let's see.
Second declaración en proceso y aún no ha finalizado el tiempo de garantía, le sugerimos esperar a recibir la notificación del dictamen al teléfono o correo que nos proporcionó en el alta del folio una vez finalizado el proceso. No es necesario hablar con un ejecutivo. ¿Quieres desactivar tu token por cambio de equipo, robo, extravío u olvido de contraseña? Si cuentas con tu identificación por voz, podrás dar de baja tu token enviando un SMS al 56 con la palabra reporte de token, seguido de tu año de nacimiento a 4 dígitos. Consulte nuestros tutoriales en www.com.mx en el apartado digital. Bienvenido a Línea Advanced. For English, press 2. If you want to consult our privacy policy, press 1. Reports for checkbooks, cards, unrecognized chargers, or electronic transfers and declination of cards, press the star key. To access the telephone banking service, please enter your card number, account number, or phone banking number. We remind you that it is important to enter this information so we can assist you. If you don't have it, press the hash key. After the tone, please repeat the phrase in the language you recorded your voice password. If it was in English, you shall say, "My voice is my password." If it was in Spanish, you shall say, "Mi voz es mi contraseña."
My voice is my password.
Sorry, it was not possible to identify your voice. Please speak loud and clear. After the tone, please repeat the phrase in the language you recorded your voice password. If it was in English, you shall say, "My voice is my password." If it was in Spanish, you shall say, "Mi voz es mi contraseña."
My voice is my password.
For your call to be answered by one of our agents, choose from the following: mobile and internet banking, press 1. Balances and transactions of your account, press 2. Reports, claims, checks, and other inquiries of the debit card, press 3. Reports, claims, and other inquiries of the credit card, press 4. Promotions and other product or service inquiries, press 5. To repeat these options, press the star. Please hold while we transfer your call to Advanced Representative.
As you have seen, by just having the phrase and the account number, I was able to bypass the security of the voice authentication. I did the same with some other Latin American banks. I will leave the link of the video. Most of the banks were not able to recognize if the voice was a recorded voice or a live person. Just by account number and with the recorded phrase and a desk phone and a Bluetooth speaker, I was able to bypass the voice authentication system. In some cases, banks allow you to transfer money via phone banking, or in others, access confidential banking information like account balances and transactions, and in other cases, it also allowed to reset the password. The banks should secure the voice authentication system or allow the users to deactivate it as it's not secure. Thank you.
For advanced voice biometrics, interactive liveness detection is used when a person is asked to say a randomly generated phrase. The current capabilities of neural networks allow bypassing interactive liveness detection. Experts understand the risks associated with the biometric systems and are beginning to resort to a multimodal approach when several types of biometrics are embedded in the identification system, like face recognition and voice recognition. But in 2020, researchers from the company SenseTime developed a generative neural network that allows you to receive an image of a target person and an audio recording of speech as input, and at the output, give a video with a target person, in which a person's facial expression corresponds to an audio track. Thus, with the help of this technology, it is possible to animate a photograph of the face of any person with his cloned voice. There are a lot of risks associated with biometric authentication. Companies and financial institutions need to focus attention on the development of advanced deepfake detection solutions. On the other hand, we should focus on raising awareness and educating consumers of social media about the risk associated with the deepfake technology and how we can protect our digital identity. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and support us on Patreon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new video updates.